All praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson on this, or I'm just going to be talking about this document here, which you can read the name. So as you can see what the topic is going to be about, right? It's going to be clear that I'm not going to be able to say certain words out loud, man. I'm not going to be able to say the words as they actually show, so I'm going to have to speak somewhat in code. But I wanted to read some of this because I've read through it already. But I wanted to go through some of this, some of the particular points on this document, which was made in 2016, and to just show how the same things that this document contains is hypocritical, because people love to do these things to the Hebrew Israelites and to so-called black people as a whole, to Latino people, so-called Mexicans, to Native American people, right? They love to do that as a whole to us in general, right? So I'm going to scroll down, right? And the title of the article is called A Definition of Anti-This and Anti-That, right? Now you can clearly see what the real word says, but you're going to have to deal with me talking like this because saying the word straight up cause for these crybabies to try and get things taken down, man. So I'm gonna read it. It says, anti is a certain perception of blank which may be expressed as hatred towards blank. Rhetorical and physical manifestations of blank are directed towards blank or non-blank individuals and or their properties, towards blank community institutions and religious facilities. In addition, such manifestations could also target the state of blank, conceived as a blank collectivity. Blank frequently charges blanks with conspiring to harm humanity, and it is often used to blame blanks for why things go wrong. Now, that particular term right there, that particular point right there, is what people love to do about so-called black people. Didn't they actually try and mention the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans when it came to the whole C-19 thing? Didn't they try and point out that we're not taking it, and tried their best to try and make that be a point as to why the whole thing's spreading? Even though the thing started in China, they somehow tried to make it be our fault and tried to make out like, oh, we need to make sure that these people get it first, or we know we've been racist in the past, but we need to make sure that these people get it, right? So that's hypocrisy, because the world loves to try and make out like we're the problem in loads of things, man. It loves to. But it won't call that no anti this or anti anything, even though we're the people that are the Israelites, man. But saying that we're an Israelite would be considered anti-blank. And I'm going to go through some more of this document and show that by these people not allowing us to call ourselves what we want to call ourselves, right? They're hypocrites, because part of this document that they have is by, I'm going to show it anyway, man. Just have some patience with me, and I'm gonna get to it. It is expressed. I'm reading from this point here. Let me highlight it. I'm reading from this part here now. All right. So it says it is expressed in speech, writing, visual forms, and actions, and employs sinister stereotypes and negative character traits. Don't people do that to us all the time? Contemporary examples of blank in public life, the media, schools, and workplace, and in the religious sphere could, taking into account the overall context, include but are not limited to calling for, aiding, or justifying the killing or harming of blanks in the name of radical ideology or an extremist view of religion, making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about blanks as such, or in the power of blanks as a collective. Now, don't people love to do that against so-called black people all the time? Oh, black people are this. Oh, black people are that. or black people don't like to take care of their kids, or black people don't have jobs, or black people don't like to work, or black people are the 13% people doing 13% things. We was kangs. You know what I mean? They love to do that. So this document is hypocrisy, because people get scared and want to follow this document right here, right? As we can see in this world, there people are shook to say anything that can be considered that, right? But all these things they do to us, all of this stuff they do to us, man. Let me carry on reading. I'm gonna start reading again from here, right? From here, it says, such as, especially but not exclusively, the myth about a world blank conspiracy or blanks controlling the media, economy, government, or other societal institutions. Now, if you was to go and do some research, right, in a particular organization, and you find that the overwhelming majority of people, or of a certain group of people, are running a certain thing, is that a conspiracy theory, or is it just the truth? If someone was to say, you know what, most of the people in the NBA are tall, so-called black men, right? If someone was to say that, could somebody say, nah, that's mad, you know? I can't believe you're saying that. That's anti this, anti that. You're anti this. You're anti that for saying that. Or is it true? Or is it true? You know what I mean? Now, there's certain things that people like to try and comment with about Israelites, the real ones, where they say that we're committing most of the crimes. Now, if that was true, right, let's just say it was, which I don't believe that, but you have to look at who's controlling who gets put in prison, man. Before, even if you was to believe all the percentage of who's in the jail the most, you'd have to look at who has the authority in this world, in most of these countries, that people have these statistics about 13% doing this and 30% doing that. Who's the person that controls who gets arrested, right? And who's the person that controls whether they're going to get judged to go jail or not? Who's the person that controls that? Is it the people that are supposedly doing these crimes? Is it the so-called black people that are the ones in charge of that? Or is it the people that look the complete opposite of them? Their number one enemy on the earth that gets to decide their fate? And if you were being honest, you'd have to accept it was the latter that I mentioned. Right? So, of course, they're going to be considered statistically this and statistically that, because the people that hate them the most want that to be the image. Right? They want that to be the image. Now, let me carry on, man. Let me carry on going through some more of this. I'm gonna start reading from this part now. I'm gonna highlight it. I'm gonna start reading from here so you can see and follow if you want to follow. I'm going to put it to the top of the screen. It says, accusing blanks as being responsible for real or imagined wrongdoing committed by a single blank person or group, or even for acts committed by non-blanks. Now, that happens to the so-called black man on a regular, because a Somalian might commit a crime, right? And because Somalians have got the similar skin tone as us and similar hair texture, their stats of crimes get put in the stats with so-called black people's crimes. That happens all the time, man. Right? When one so-called black man commits a crime, or one so-called black woman robs from a liquor store or something like that, and you check the comment board, you're going to see nothing but 13% people doing 13% things again. We was kangs. You're going to see all kind of shit like that. You're going to see all kind of remarks accusing a whole race of people for the crimes of what one person did. But no one wants to call that any anything, man. You know what I mean? They'll say, well, if we're seeing that there's so many cases of so-called black people committing these crimes, then obviously that's the case. But then no one else gets treated that way. No one else has to be an ambassador for their whole race. They get to just walk around the world as an individual, man. So this document, man, is hypocritical, because they think that all the things that they mention in this document, that's things that really should be getting applied to us more than anyone else. Because this is the things that all the world does to us, and that these are the things that these so-called Jewish people have made sure we get treated like man. And all the mercies that they're trying to receive for themselves by using that buzzword are things that really they know that really we should receive. But they're like, nah, I don't give a damn about them. I want me to have those privileges, man. You know what I mean? Let's read some more. Let's go to this next point. Denying the fact, scope, mechanisms, or intentionality of the genocide of blank people at the hands of National Socialist Germany and its supporters and accomplices during World War II, accusing the blanks as a people or the blank as a state of inventing or exaggerating the blank. Now, don't people try and make out like we exaggerate the Atlantic slave trade? Don't people try and make out like, oh man, it wasn't that bad. We civilized you during that. Oh, black people sold their own people into slavery. Don't people say stuff like that to us? Don't they say get over it? You wasn't personally a slave, but they won't say that to one of these blanks that want to cry because their granddad went through something, or because they perceive that their granddad went through something. They won't say that to them. They won't tell them get over it. But people love telling us get over the Atlantic slave trade. They love saying that. So again, you're seeing the hypocrisy in this document. Let's go through some more. Accusing blank citizens of being more loyal to blank or to the alleged priorities of blanks worldwide than to the interest of their own nation. Don't people say that about us? Don't people say that, oh, you're racist because you think that you're the chosen? Can't we all be the chosen? But if you don't accept me, then how are we ever going to overcome this? But if you're, how are we going to ever overcome this between us if you don't ever accept me? Don't they say that stuff to us that we're racist because we think that we're the chosen? If it's okay for one group of people to say that they're the chosen, it's okay for every single group on the earth to say that they're the chosen. And you know what's going to decide who's telling the truth? The God that made the heavens and the earth. He's going to show which people are the chosen. He's going to reveal it on the earth, right? It's not going to be men on earth that are going to be able to make themselves appear to be chosen. No, the God of the world, right? The creator of the earth that everyone lives on is going to show who is telling the truth and who ain't telling the truth. And that's what you'll notice that those people don't ever want to do. They never want to let God be involved in anything that goes on. They always got to make laws or use the sword, man, to try and manipulate their worldview. They don't really mention God in anything to do with what they're talking about, man. They don't want to ever mention that. They don't ever mention it. That's what you'll notice. But let's read some more. Right? Applying double standards of it by requiring of it a behavior not expected or demanded of any other democratic nation. Now, people require of so-called black people, Latinos and Native Americans, something that they don't ever require of any other nation. They require for us to forgive every single wrongdoing that's ever taken place to us, right? But when it comes to any other group of people, they're allowed to mourn. They're allowed to have an annual celebration and mourning their forefathers. But when it comes to us, we're supposed to forgive everyone. Tell me that ain't true. When it comes to us, we're not supposed to expect or want revenge or desire revenge and justice. You know, we ain't supposed to want no repairing of our nation. So this document, again, you can see the hypocrisy in it, man. You can see it. Let's go some more. Using the symbols and images associated with classic blank, right, to characterize blank or blanks. Don't that happen to us? Ain't there loads of companies that started off during the Atlantic slave trade that we still got to see those logos now? Ain't that a thing that we have to go through? But no one don't want to care when it comes to us, man. And that's why when we get the upper hand, we ain't gonna have no mercy, man. Because none of you people wanted to have any mercy on us. You wanted to try and treat us way worse than you're getting treated, but try and make it like you are somehow the worst treated person on the earth. Let's read some more. Drawing comparisons of contemporary blank policy to that of the blanks. right? Now, one thing that people like to try and say about Hebrew Israelites when we say that we're going to put the people that put us in slavery, oh, well, that makes you the same as them then? Isn't that what they say? Oh, well, if you do that to them, then that means you're no better than them. You're the same as them then. Or don't they like to try and compare Hebrew Israelites and try and group Hebrew Israelites in with people that used to kill us? Don't they try and group Israelites in with the KKK and try and make out like the Israelites are the worst than the KKK? Don't people say that? Don't people say things like that? Don't people try and make out like Hebrew Israelites, so-called black people, are worse than the people that actually did the things to them? Because we say the day is going to come where we're going to get revenge and be able to do the same things that you did to us. Don't they try and say, well, you're like them then? But on this document, you got these small hat people that they're complaining that happens to them. They've got a buzzword for that. But the world does that to us all the time. The world loves to compare so-called black people to the K. Oh, they're the black KKK. They love to do that all the time. I've heard them say that, and I'm sure loads of other people have. So again, you can see the hypocrisy in this document. Let's get some more, because there's a few more things that I wanted to see, man. There's another point I wanted to read, and I can't see it at the moment on this document, man, but it was a good point, man. All right, here we go. I'm gonna read from here, because this is a big one. Right, this point right here I'm about to read, man. This point right here is a big one. Right, denying the blank people their right to self-determination by claiming that the existence of a blank of blank is a racist endeavor. Now, does this world allow so-called black people, Latinos, and Native Americans the right to our own self-determination? And do they call Hebrew Israelites racist because we believe that we're the chosen? Don't they say that the Hebrew Israelite doctrine is a racist endeavor because we're saying that all of that we're saying that we're the chosen? But then these people are saying that you can't say that about them. But we both believe that we're the chosen. We believe that we're the chosen as Hebrew Israelites, and they're saying that they are. But people are going to only, because they're going to bow down to this buzzword, they're going to say, no, they're allowed to have their own self-determination, but you're not. You're black, you're Latino, and you're Native American because we said you are. Oh, but those people have got a buzzword for their own self-determination. Okay, they have, but you're not allowed it, though. That's what the world's literally thinking that they're going to be able to do to us. And nah, fam, you ain't going to be able to. It's not going to go. It's not going to go the way that you think it's going to go, man. All the things that this world's trying to push is not going to go the way that they think it's going to go, man. They're trying to restrict all of our mouth so that we can't say nothing. But it's not going to go that way. Let me read it again. Again from here, right? In fact, let me highlight it, man. Well, it's not going to work that way. Denying the blankish people their right to self-determination by claiming that the existence of a blank of blank is a racist endeavor. But that's what the world likes to do to us. They when we call ourselves Hebrew Israelites, they gotta say, oh yeah, black Hebrew Israelites. When we say that the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the Israelites, and also anyone that's father looks like a so-called black man, and also there's going to be people that don't look like so-called black people, so-called Latino, or so-called a Native American. But according to Revelation 7 and 9, there's going to be a multitude of believers that are Israelites that are being scattered into all the different corners of the earth. So there's going to ultimately be Israelites that are going to look like every single race on the earth, right? They say nah, but that would be racist. You're saying that only black people can receive salvation when they know damn well that that's not what we're saying. But if we had a document, if we was in charge and we had a document that we could make, we'd be able to put an anti this and anti that on it. And that's why this world's hypocritical, because people have been bowing down to this particular term, man. But then at the same time, they'll do it to us. They don't want to give us our own right to self-determination. But they allow these people to have their own right to self-determination. And they'll allow men to be able to call themselves women and have their own right to self-determination, right? They'll allow men I mean, women to call themselves men and have their own right to self-determination. They'll allow even some men to say that I'm a dog and allow him to be talking about some woof woof and have a dog cage and all that, a kennels, and to have a dog lead, a dog leash and all that. You know what I mean? They'll allow him to do that, but they don't allow us to call ourselves Israelites if we want to. But everyone else gets to call themselves all kind of stuff. You know? It's ridiculous. And I've never really looked at this document like this until today, after I was watching a video by Require Cromman, a video that he just did less than a day ago. And then I looked up based on what he was talking about in the video, it made me want to look up this, right? And then I've seen the document and I'm like, man, but all the stuff that they're saying in this document are things that they do to us on a regular basis. Every single time they want to talk about what any debate that they've had with a Hebrew Israelite, they always got to say it's a black Hebrew Israelite. They try and come with these little abbreviation names, BHI and all of that, thinking they slick. If we say our name and then we give a Hebrew name, they're like, nah, what's your government name? How about you interact with me based on what I said my name is? So if I say that my name is, I don't know, think of any Hebrew name, man. But you're like, nah, I don't want to hear that. What's your government name? Surely your name's Matt or something. Isn't your name Matt? You know? No, I've heard your name's Max. So I'm going to call you Max. That's what they try and do. That's how they try and do, man. They want to know our so-called real names and all of that, right? But in the Bible, people's names change, though. Now, let's read some more, man. Here's an excellent point. Here's an excellent point, man. This is how showing a clear hypocrisy, holding blanks collectively responsible for the actions of the blank of Israel, right? Anytime that any single group comes out that Esau pulls out of nowhere, right? They'll want to try and attribute that to every single so-called black person, though, or every single so-called Latino. They always try and stereotype us based on things that they pull out, man. Always. Anytime any so-called black person commits any crime anywhere, they always want to try and put it on us. But according to this document here, that's a bad thing to do that. So why do they do it to us then? According to this document, being treated in such a way requires you to make a law to stop that from happening. But they don't mind doing it to everyone else, especially us. You understand? Now, let's read some more. However, criticism of blank, similar to that leveled against any other country, cannot be regarded as as blank, right? Blank acts are criminal when they are when they are so defined by law. So that means if I say it's illegal, then it is. If the particular criticism you give me, right, I've made a law against you criticizing me in that way, then I'm going to call it anti-blank. So therefore, you can't criticize these people. That's what they've pretty much tried to make a law so that you can't criticize them. Or you can criticize me in a way I want you to. If you criticize me in any other way, it's anti-blank. And I'm going to make that be a thing that you've got to be punished for. So the freedom of speech is already out there, man. It's already out there. The lack of freedom of speech, the lack of it. Let's read some more. For example, denial of the blank or distribution of blank materials in some countries, but this world's always making distribution of anti-us on a regular. And they're always denying how harsh the Atlantic slave trade was, or denying that we should be able to mourn about it because we didn't go for it. That's what they want to say. Or how you talking about it. Okay, it was your great-great-grandfather that went through it, but what's your problem? You know what I mean? The nerve of that. You understand the nerve of that? I don't think these people actually understand how disgusting they are to try and actually believe that we should be like that. But then they don't say about the hollow blank. You know what I mean? When a 30-year-old person that's meant to be a J-wish, when they're mourning about it, they don't say, what are you mourning about? That happened way back, way before your time. You wasn't even born them times. What are you mourning about? Get over it. That's not, you didn't go through that. So get over it. They don't say that to them. They were like, oh man, yeah, man, you should mourn, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's messed up. But then we can't mourn about our great grandmother that was being R-worded by a grimy, red-faced Edomite demon that's breath stinks, man. Beating up our grandmother. You know what I mean? Beating up our grandfather. Beating up our beating up our great-grandfather's cousins and all of that. I mean, and their children. Harming them. Forcing labor on them. We're supposed to not say nothing about that and expect no justice ever and not desire revenge for that. But these people are making laws because of what happened in the past to try and protect their people. But we're supposed to say, fuck, man, we ain't going to say shit. We're going to get over it. That's what we're expected to do. Nah, bruh. We ain't going to do that. Let's read some more. Criminal acts are blank when the targets of attacks, whether they are people or property, such as buildings, schools, places of worship, and cemeteries, are selected because they are or are perceived to be blankish or linked to blanks. How many churches get shot up, man? By these grimy Edomites? How many? How many? How often do sometimes like a Somalian cat or something like that or some Ethiopian get beat up because they're getting called us? Because they're getting perceived as though they're so-called African American or so-called Caribbean. So according to that, we're supposed to get some law written. If it's so bad to do that, then that means that we need some laws written too then, right? And that's how you know that these people are the Edomites, man, because this is the same kind of stuff that Haman was doing, man, having laws wrote to be able to get at people, man. Don't it say in Micah, or is it Isaiah, the 10th chapter, that they write laws because it's in the power of their hand? You know what I mean? Let's read this last bit here. It says, blankish, anti-blank discrimination is the denial to blanks of opportunity or services available to others and is illegal in many countries. But we could guarantee for a fact that there's certain things that everybody else gets allowed to take place in that we ain't. If we was to go to the bank with a business idea and ask for a loan, right? The exact same idea, the exact same paperwork as someone else, in certain cases, we ain't getting that. We ain't getting it. And we already know this. But this, I just wanted to go through this document, man, because as I was reading this, I was getting angry because, because of the hypocrisy that you can clearly see in this document, because all the things that they're complaining about in here gets done to us way more, including by them. Shalom to the nation of Israel. Shalom.